Hey guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock. Happy Monday. Happy Monday morning, guys. I want to say hey to all my subscribers, new as well as season. I got a word for you. So, guys, I'm going to combine two email responses into one. The first one being to an individual who feels she have been hurt and betrayed very badly. And secondly, are you idolizing your breakthrough versus keeping your eyes on God? Okay, so I received an email from a young lady in regards to just being really, really hurt. She didn't specify who or what the relationship was about, but I was telling her that one thing that I've learned a few years ago is that people are just people. I say that all the time. People are just people. God is God. And what happens is we keep putting so much trust into people. And people are trying to figure this thing out called life as well, right? I was just talking to Pastor R.C. Blakes about this on yesterday. You have to discern where people are. So it's almost like, let's just say you meet someone, right? And you go out on a date with this individual. And during the first conversations, this person is telling you that they just came out of a bad marriage or a bad breakup. And you can tell that they're still hurt. You can tell just in that conversation that they're still dealing with those emotions. Well, it's almost like listening to their conversation. You got to go ahead and automatically put your guard up, because the very first conversation you're having with this person, you can tell that they're still dealing with that trauma and the emotions of being hurt by the last person. So then why would you open yourself up so freely, knowing just through their conversation that they're still struggling? So it's almost like you got to filter out what they're saying and then embrace it. And then, as Pastor says, insulate your soul. Insulate your soul. Trust people to be exactly who they are and who they show you. So when they do hurt you, and it's not to say that you won't be hurt, right? Because we're human, we have emotions. It's not that you won't be hurt, but at the same time, it won't break your soul. There's a difference between someone hurting you and your feelings being hurt, and then those that hurt you to a point where your soul is broken, and to the point that some people never become normal again. I know many people who are dealing with, very, very heavy addictions 10, 15, 20 years later from being hurt so bad by someone. And we got to stop putting so much trust in people. If we know that no one is perfect, there's no question mark about that. We know that no one is perfect. Then how can we give someone that kind of trust? And I'm not saying don't trust people at all. I'm not saying that. You can still trust and love someone, but you have to be wise in your discerning, that at the end of the day, people are just people. We all are trying to figure this thing out called life. People are dealing with their own traumas, their own issues, their own hurts and pains. So sometimes when people hurt you, it's not even intentional. Like, they're not even thinking. It's almost like they're being reactive to their own trauma. And so we just happen to be in the way, right? So let's just say it's someone who has been hurt or maybe has dealt with abandonment issues and rejection and all that stuff in childhood and so on. Well, it's like, because healing hurts so bad, most people choose not to heal. Or even when they start that process, they realize what's all involved, and then they dodge, because it's healing. Healing hurts, because you have to sit in it and you have to relive that pain all over again. So most people tend to just react out of the trauma. And so they're reacting to soothe, or what they think is soothing, their own trauma. And you happen to be in the mix of it. So they're cheating, they're doing this, they're doing that. And that's all a trauma response. But you're taking it as you're not good enough for them. They don't love you, and they don't this. And you got all these different labels that you want to put upon yourself as if you're the problem. And most times we're not the problem. Most times we're not the problem. So I'll say to you, Of course, always go to your source. Ask God to show you and lead you on how to start this healing process. Whatever you do, don't retaliate. That sometimes that can be almost a natural response. Don't retaliate. Keep your hands clean and free of it. Allow God to fight your battles, because when he fights your battles, honey, it is so much better. I'll just be real. It's so much better. I'm telling you, right? So know again that it's not about you, especially the things that you said in the email. It seemed like this person is a traumatized individual. So it's not about you. So don't attach it to you like that, because it's not about you. It's about them. So I hope this helps you. And what was the second thing I said I was going to talk about? Idolizing your breakthrough. Listen, when I got your email, when I read your email, like, it hit me, because this is something that I had to deal with several months ago. And I was like, wow, just to know someone else is dealing with this as well. If you are like me, that A personality, that go-getter, that determined person, it is so hard. It is so hard when God instructs you to sit still off of it for a minute, take your hands up off of it for a minute, and then the next week he may have you moving again, acceleration again, then you come to a halt again. That is the most difficult thing for someone who's just that natural, just, that mindset of that A personality. That is so hard. But God had been very clear when I hit that roadblock some months ago. God had been very, very clear. Because what happens is we don't even realize it, right? But it's a very, very fine line when you cross over into that idolizing it, idolizing the breakthrough, whatever God has shown you or spoken to you, right? Because it's so right in your face and it's so clear as day, that when it doesn't happen when you or me think it should happen, we want to keep putting our hands in it. We want to keep trying to make it happen. We're thinking about it all day. We're thinking about the next way we can do it. If this door don't open, and that is idolizing. And I didn't even know it myself. I just saw it as, listen, God said it's mine. Let me go get it, right? That's how I saw it. And it's true. If God said it's yours, it's yours. But you got to keep your eyes on God. You got to keep worshiping God, because if you're worshiping this thing by just thinking about it all day long, and everybody around you, the conversation is always about it, and even when you try to get away from it, you got people who's talking about it, and then you find your mind going back on it, and all day your mind is pinging on, should I do this? How can I do this? Should I try it this way, that way? When, God, when, God. That is idolizing. And God will pull back. God will pull back. In fact, you can hold up and potentially stop your own breakthrough, because you're idolizing the breakthrough, right? You're idolizing the promise, and you're not keeping your eyes on God. You need to be idolizing and worshiping God. And that is when he will give you certain moves and certain downloads and tell you when to go, when not to go, stuff like that. So if you feel like God has backed away and things are quiet, right? And I mean, things could be quiet for a number of reasons. Again, I always say sometimes God has to work things out on the other side. Sometimes he has to clear the pathway that you don't know about, because there's going to be some things that you're going to have to deal with when you get there, right? We think it's going to be all roses and dandelions, but there are certain things certain spirits you're going to have to conquer. There's, certain things that God want to be sure that you're so built up that you don't what's the word? That you don't kind of fall into the temptation on that other side. So again, we keep thinking we're so ready. And it's only because we can't see yet what's on that other side. We only see and hear what that vision or that breakthrough or that promise is. We don't know what's there when we get there. We don't know what's all entailed. So this is why sometimes too, God is stepped away because he's clearing the path. He's getting some things down on the other side. He is strengthening you. He's giving you new downloads. He's giving you new revelation. And I know for myself, the longer I sit, the more revelation I get. And I was like, oh my goodness, I would have never thought that if I would have got it last month. I would have been clueless to that. So that's sometimes what that sitting still is about too. So there's a number of reasons on why God would step away. But if you are worshiping it and you're constantly thinking about it, you're going to have to change the perspective. And you will know when you're worshiping it, because it's literally, listen, it's on your mind 24 hours a day, more than you are thinking about God. That's how you know you're worshiping it. So be very, 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 very mindful and careful with that, because I won't lie, that snuck up on me because I just saw it as, well, I'm just being determined, as I always have been, to accomplish goals and dreams and desires. That requires determination, right? But when it's a God's promise, it's different. It's different. We got to respect his pace, even though it's so difficult. So just keep pressing, keep your eyes on God. He will show you how and when to move. Let him guide you. Your only job is to be prepared, be your best self, and make sure you complete everything that he's required of you, so that when God brings that blessing, when God opens that door, you're ready to receive everything that he has promised you. You guys have a great one. It's your girl, Kizzy Rock.